And in news coming in, another protest has erupted at the Singhu border. This is a group of people who claim to be the locals who have gathered at Singhu border, demanding that the area be vacated. Remember, farmers have been camping at the site for the past 2 months, and now the locals, those in the surrounding areas, have come there and are saying that the area needs to be vacated. Those are the latest details coming in at this point in time. These are the same people who, in fact, have been supporting the farmers for the past 2 months and supporting the protests. Now, after the events of 26th of January, they say that they want the area evacuated and completely, emptied out at this point in time. This, of course, as a result of what happened on the 26th of January and the violence that broke out at that point in time. This has been the trigger point of why these people are now demanding the area is cleared out. Ayushman joining us for more details. Ayushman, the locals there around Singhu border have been supporting the protests all of this time in the past 2 months, despite the kind of problems and difficulties that they were facing themselves. But now, obviously, in the aftermath of the violence that broke out, now they want the area cleared out entirely.
Yes, currently people holding placards that tricolor should not be disrespected. They are out here at Singhu's barricade, where the barricades have been put, and they are demanding that these protesters must be removed and the road must be cleared. These protesters are standing behind the barricade from where the protest actually begins. So these cement barricades is somewhere where we are seeing the deployment of security as well. But currently, the situation is that these protesters are demanding for vacating this place, which has been seeing protests for over 60 days now.
Right. And Ayushman, of course, this is largely because, these same people who were supporting the protests now say that they want to, they want the area cleared out. Obviously, they've also been facing a lot of difficulty for the past 2 months as well. And now they don't want, they want the area cleared out.
Yes, in fact, the entire idea of this protest was protesting against the farm laws, but the way violence broke out at Red Fort and also at the ITO, this has something that is definitely the credibility crisis is definitely there, and we have seen the farm union leaders postponing the march that was proposed to take place on 1st of Feb. So now a group has come here and they are demanding that this site should be vacated because they have been facing problems because of it.
All right, Ayushman, thank you so much for joining us with those details. Those are the visuals there on your screens at this point in time of the kind of protests that have broken out there. These are people, the locals in the surrounding areas who have been helping out the farmers for the past 2 months. In fact, live visuals there coming to you on your screens from Singhu border as we speak of the kind of protests that have erupted here now. So obviously these are protests that have erupted of locals there, of those who are staying in the nearby areas, in the surrounding areas of the Singhu border, and are now demanding that the area is cleared out. Because remember, there have been a lot of difficulties that people staying there have faced with respect to movement, with respect to a lot of other things as well, because of the restrictions that the protests have caused. Ayushman is with us. Ayushman, if you can also give us a sense right now of, the kind of difficulties. All right, we seem to have lost Ayushman there, but a lot of difficulties were being faced by the people, but they still back the protests. And now, of course, after what happened at the Red Fort, after what happened on the 26th of January, and the kind of violence that we saw in the national capital, they have now, that has been the trigger for them to now demand that the area gets cleared out at this point in time. So those are the visuals there coming to you on our screens. Those are the live visuals coming to you from the Singhu border at this point in time. In fact, you can see the heavy deployment at this point. And in fact, Tanima joining us for more on this. Tanima, if you can take us through what's happening.
In fact, fact, if you can see that there are police people who have gathered in large numbers, that's primarily because residents have decided to protest there, demanding that the area should be vacated. And remember that Singhu, the Delhi-Haryana border, has been one of the main protest sites for the past 2 months that farmers have in fact been camping there. Lots of meetings, all the main meetings of farmer leaders actually are always take place at the Singhu border. And right now what we can see is in the aftermath of the Republic Day violence, the locals there, the residents there have in fact started protesting and demanding that the area should now be cleared. And the police have in fact put up JCB cranes to act as barriers between the farmers and the locals who are protesting over there. The situation is a bit tense on the ground, as we can see right now, Avni.
Yes, absolutely, Tanima. And those are the visuals there on our screens that we're getting to our viewers there from the Singhu border right now. These are live visuals coming to our viewers. Locals there demanding that the area be vacated. The police, in fact, you can see a JCB crane there, earth mover being put up as well as barriers. And of course, remember, Singhu border has been the hub of the entire protest. The majority, the biggest farm protests have been held at the Singhu border. Ayushman is joining us for more details as well. Ayushman, there's a lot of action happening at the Singhu border right now, and we can see barriers being put up and heavy deployment as well. What can you tell us?
Well, the protests are on here. On the one side, the farmer unions are protesting, but on the other side, there are also people who have come and they are demanding that these protesters must be vacated. The area should be vacated, and somewhere these protesters have been occupying this place for.
All right, we seem to have lost Ayushman there, but look at those visuals there, the heavy deployment that we can see at this point in time, the police deployment at the Singhu border. This is the Delhi-Haryana border, which has been the main protest site of the farmers. All the meetings, farmer meetings, and all of that has been held at the Singhu border. Even the farmers' address to the media as well, we've seen happening from there. And now, of course, the farmers there used to get a lot of support from the locals who lived in that area. And now, of course, those same people have changed their minds and are now saying that they want the area completely, emptied out of the farmers. And that essentially has happened because of what happened on the 26th of January in Delhi, the kind of violence that broke out, what happened at the Red Fort, the way the farmers stormed into the Red Fort. So the locals now saying that, this is the main reason as to why they want the area cleared out at this point in time. Remember, the locals have also been facing a lot of issues themselves because of the protests. So a lot of restrictions on their own movement, all of that has been happening, and now they are saying they want the area emptied out. Let me, in fact, we'll keep tracking this story, but on that note, we'll slip into a very quick break and come back with more on the other side.
रात में जो घटना हुई, जिस तरीके से आप लोगों ने बताया, सुबह में किसानों ने बताया,
नहीं अभी भी आगा पूरा पानी काट दिया, पूरा ये सिस्टम हटा दिया, सब चीजें बंद है।
आपने प्रशासन से बात की इस बार?
अभी बात करेंगे, वे जा रहे हैं अपने लोग, बात करेंगे।
आगे की रणनीति क्या रहेगी? हम
तो यही है, रणनीति जो प्रशासन बात करेगा, बात करेंगे प्रशासन से।
एक मिनट, कर लो। मैं तो बस तुम्हारे जा रहे थे। हाँ ठीक है, चलो करो। तुम्हारे जाएंगे? कर लो, कोई दिक्कत नहीं, करो, कोई बात नहीं।
अरे नोटिस भी पढ़ेंगे, क्या है उसे देखेंगे, उसमें भी क्या है नोटिस में। उसमें तो तीन दिन का वो मांगे आके क्या चीज है, उसका जवाब दे दो, तो जवाब दे देंगे उसका।
हाँ 3 दिन, अभी 2 दिन का समय और है।
हाँ तो दे देंगे जवाब।
आप लोग का वीजा पासपोर्ट जब्त कर लिया गया, उससे क्या कहेंगे?
वीजा पासपोर्ट जब्त कर लिया?
हाँ पासपोर्ट।
हाँ पासपोर्ट है।
जब तो नहीं हुआ अभी?
नहीं अभी तो मैं तो यहाँ पासपोर्ट तो घर होगा।
ठीक है, आप इधर देखिएगा, इसको जब्त करेंगे।
हाँ तो ठीक है।
नोटिस में आपको ब्लेम किया गया है कि आप लोग रिस्पॉन्सिबल है इन अ वे, ये पूरा जो राउडी एलिमेंट आ गया था, उससे आप क्या कहेंगे?
अच्छा, जब किसान में बुलाए, मैं अब ये कहूँ कि किसान मैंने नहीं बुलाए भाई, किसान आए हैं, जो किसान संगठन है यहाँ पे, सबकी जिम्मेदारी पे वो आए हैं और हम जिम्मेदारी लेते हैं पूरे किसान संगठन उसकी, ये आए यहाँ पे। लेकिन जो लाल किले वाला
चूक हो गई? नहीं,
क्या चूक होगी? अगर किसान यहाँ पे है तो चूक कहेंगी? किसान यहाँ पाए शांतिपूर्ण तरीके, रूट पूरा वो जब जवाब आएगा हम उसको देंगे, और हमने उसकी फोटोग्राफी पूर्ण रूप से करवाई है।
आपने कहा था बक्कल उतार दी जाएगी, क्या उसी बयान की वजह से?
नहीं, ऐसा नहीं। हमने ये कहा कि जो रूट इन्होंने दिए उस पर बैरिकेटिंग करी, तो कटघरे में यहाँ का प्रशासन भी है। मतलब जो रूट देख के, जो लिखित में हमारे पास में रूट है, हमने उसकी पूरी फोटोग्राफी करवाई है और पूरा पुलिस प्रशासन ने उस रूट को बंधक बनाया और दिल्ली जाने वाले रूट को फ्री छोड़ा।
अभी तो टाइम
है जी,
प्लान था उनका।
हाँ प्लान था है जी।
8 बजे शुरू हो गया था ट्रैक्टर मार्च।
नहीं 8 बजे।
बाबा इधर देख लेना सामने
है जी।
आप मार्च पे कब निकले थे?
नहीं, हम तो वहाँ रोक के रखे, सब लोगों को हमने रोका और वे फुटेज बहुत लोगों के पास में होगी जो हमने ट्रैक्टर को रोका और वो सबके पास में है।
तो गांव से और भी लोग आ रहे हैं, क्या रणनीति आप आगे?
नहीं, रणनीति का आंदोलन चल रहा है।
एक मिनट कर लेना, काम कर लेना।
आज चले गए वे यहाँ से।
आ रही आवाज?
अब पता नहीं भाई, मैं तो सुनी नहीं उनकी।
रेडी बाबा, इधर देखना।
कहाँ है?
All right, that was Farmer Leader Rakesh Sakayat there reacting and talking about what's happening at this point in time. But let's also get in some more breaking news coming in.